You are listening to For the Indie Musician on Future Hits Radio with Hollie Beadell from B-Side Recording.
Hello, Jenson.
Hello.
Never know how to start it, to be fair.
Hello's always a good start.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And you?
Yes, not bad, thank you. Bit cold
Yeah.
outside, bit rainy.
Yeah, miserable.
Yeah. So, just tell us a bit about what you've been up to lately.
Well, the last thing I did was with B-Side, so with you guys. When we went to Abbey Road in January and recorded a hopefully five track EP. Hopefully it's going to be 5. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to cut one yet. But the cover's being working on at the moment. So it's just songs off my last album, Country House Hotel, that I did with also I played the single that I recorded with you guys called Cure. As like that's the idea for that, is like to have be a bit of a bonus track on the end of it. But yeah, that's the last thing that I've been up to.
Have you got anything coming up, or are you relaxing?
I'm recording a lot at the moment, so not so much going on in terms of live stuff. But the next live thing I've got booked isn't until August, actually, with the B-Side festival.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. So concentrating on recording. That's just finished, but I've been working on like a few albums at the same time, about 3. So the last one that came out was the first one that just happened to be finished. Second one is one I've just finished, so that's being mastered at the moment. And then there's another one after that I've got about 4 tracks finished for. So
okay. So
lots and lots of recording.
busy.
Yeah.
And I prefer recording. I don't like doing live at all. I try to avoid it. Yeah,
I'm not the. I mean, I do enjoy it, but I feel like if I don't do it, I'm doing something wrong, or I'm not. I'm not doing things properly if I don't do it. But it is also because I'm a very anxious person, so like I need to keep doing it to sort of fend that anxiousness away, if that's a word.
Probably a word. It's probably in the dictionary
anxiousness.
somewhere. Anxiousness.
Yeah, but so I feel like every now and then, but it's more a sort of an internal thing where I find myself like, I just don't feel right in myself. It's like, well, I haven't done a gig for ages, and I feel like sometimes that is what it is. Or if I haven't done anything musical for like a couple of weeks, I start getting a bit mopey.
Yeah. Yeah. I think most people who are creatives are quite anxious people, which is nuts to think about, because like they're performing and they have to meet new people.
I know, and no one understands it. Like if like someone like I was best man at my best friend's wedding a few years ago, and then was like, oh, you'll be fine, you're used to playing in front of people live. It's so not the same thing.
It's different.
Yeah, trying to be up there and trying to be funny and just talking is like a whole different ball game to just playing rehearsed songs that you've written. But yeah, like a lot of people don't understand that, why sort of people who perform can be shy and anxious people at the same time. A lot of famous people were, like Prince, for example, was very shy when he was first starting out. You wouldn't think it watching him perform, but yeah, there's a lot of shy people.
Yeah, and the talk in between the songs is very difficult. I remember Lucy saying that she struggled to try and think of what to say, and like the half an hour to 35-minute sets, you would think, okay, I've got all these songs, but I can't play all these songs because I have to talk between them. When I did performing, I used to struggle talking, and I used to make the most crappiest jokes ever.
I'm saying I know. I know as in I empathise.
I know,
with
Hollie makes jokes.
Not I know that you make rubbish jokes. But I'm exactly the same. I never know what to say. Like sometimes I just start talking and hope I make a sentence out of it before I have to, because like tuning in between and stuff, it's always good to have something to say, but I don't think it ever works if it's something like rehearsed that you've got, like especially as like being a singer-songwriter sort of folky side of things. Like audiences see through that if it's like a rehearsed gag that you do every single time, even if they've never seen you before. But so sometimes I think, maybe I'd be comfortable if I did have something rehearsed, or do I just sort of like judge the vibe in the room on the day and see how it goes, see what I'm going to say. But yeah, it's a difficult one trying to think of things to say in between songs.
And it's difficult because when you're, especially at the beer festival, the B-side beer festival, when you're an acoustic act playing, and then you've got the band on the other stage have just finished, and then you're just like, go, 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 because we're quite, go now, and we're like, and then
Very
you just
organised.
perform. Yeah, we're very organised here. We're shouting over the radio, just do it. But yeah, it must be really difficult to try and gauge people's attention, especially if near everybody else is like acoustic songwriter, singer-songwriter and everything. It must be really difficult to try and...
I always try and get one song out the way first, because in an ideal world you want your music to do the talking, really. But sometimes I think maybe it would be easy, because if you come on all like, hello everyone, and like sort of try and be sort of enigmatic and funny and lively and all that, then you do get their attention from the start, but then you've got the job of holding their attention throughout like however long your set is, and it's just you and an acoustic guitar. And if you come all like that and then I've got nothing to say later, it's like a bit like, oh, I've blown everything, like just saying hello to everyone, now I don't know what to say.
I mean, there was a girl called, and she was about 15, 16. So and she didn't look it either, and when we said, oh, do you want to come and play the festival, and she said, oh yes, I'll make sure my parents come, and we were thinking, what? Because we didn't know she looked so young, like she looked so old and like stuff, but she was young. And then a band had just finished, and then I knew she could sing, but she was just a singer, and she was singing to backing tracks. And the band had just finished, and everybody was over there, and as soon as she opened her mouth with like the first word, everybody just glided towards, and then everybody was like, oh, the next band was like, oh, we have to go on after that. And she was so good. Oh, wow. So good. And she was just her with a backing track. Yeah. And she had in-ears in, and that was it.
I'm still waiting for one of those moments.
When people just glide through and glide over.
I'll just start singing and people just
glide.
Come towards, gravitate towards me.
Yeah, she's only 15. And I was like, geez.
Well, that's definitely a very good sign.
No, it's these kids. It's so good.
Too
and there's
talented
another guy.
For their own good, aren't they?
Yeah, 17-year-old. There was another 17-year-old that I played the first radio show I did, and he was so good. And then you just look at their bios, only 17 years old, and you're like, I couldn't do that at 17.
Maybe they're cheating. Maybe they're saying they're younger than they are.
Well, maybe, because I couldn't do that at that age. Yeah,
well, when I was playing at that age, I had the comfort of having like my bandmates around me, because I was in a band then, not as a solo thing. So I was looking back at videos, seeing videos of old performances and stuff. I was like, I didn't care then. It's like it'd be like, normally it works the other way. Like as you get older, you get more comfortable and stuff. But maybe because I had to make that transition from being a band to then Jenson Tagg. And even if I've got a band with me, it's still Jenson Tagg. So it's a little bit different going on under a band name. It's like, even like you feel like if like the drummer makes a mistake, it's your mistake as well, because it's your name there. It's not like.
So when you were in a band, was it Jenson Tagg and band, or was it a band like?
Well, growing up, so the band I was sort of referring to was the first one I was in was a band called Wild Angel. And the second band was a band called Ghostwriters, and then when that fell apart, that's when I started to just do my own thing. But I'd still have a band with me doing live gigs and stuff. But since COVID, excuse me, since COVID, it's been hard to get like 5 people in the same room, like with each other. Like, we've all had kids and stuff, so it's like it's harder to get 5 people together, and so. Yeah, I do want to try and get back on that, but it's a hassle trying to get everyone free on the same day. You have to ring around 4 different people.
Yeah, sometimes it's easy to just
say, I'll just do it on my own. Yeah, which I do like. I mean, I think it's helped, like doing solo gigs, like just me solo acoustic. I think it's helped my voice, because you get used to how to use your voice in different environments as well, like doing solo stuff, like as. Like there's always occasion you might not be able to hear anything coming back at you. It's just stuff stuff going out, so you sort of really have to trust. In a way, it's kind of like just singing at home, but you just have to trust your own voice, muscle memory, whatever that's called.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably like to see you with a band, because I think that the songs you do would suit a band, but it is difficult to try and get people to do it.
Yeah, I'll have to get back on it soon, but it is fun. I do miss it. I enjoy doing full band gigs, but then there's finding like half decent places to play with everywhere closing down now as well.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame, but yeah, I'll get back on it one of these days, because like I say, I do miss full band gigs. They are fun, but yeah, and also like I can play more of my sort of up-tempo ones in a full band situation. I find it a bit difficult in a solo acoustic situation playing upbeat songs. I don't know why. It's like in my head I think, I want this to be intimate, I want it to be like quiet and you know. But so I do tend to play more the slower, I won't say dreary, but slower
Dreary.
Dreamy
songs, dreamy folk pop country songs. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk about Abbey Road. How was your experience at Abbey Road?
Oh, I loved it. It's obviously those that know me know that I'm a mental Beatles fan. So like since the age of about 5. So to just be in that building, not even necessarily Studio 2 where we got a tour around, but yeah, just being in that building is really something. Like I just like, and then I sort of had to, I think I said to you on the day, I was like, after being shown around the place, I sort of had to get over that, and then I had to record after that, and sort of come down from like, I've just seen the piano from Fall on the Hill, and whatever it is that was in there, the different pianos in there that I've seen in pictures so many times, and then it's like there in front of your eyes. It's something.
And did you go when you went in? I don't think you did. Do you see the chamber?
No, not this time. I've been there before with Talks. A guy called Brian Kehew and Kevin Ryan. They wrote this amazing book called Recording the Beatles. Excuse me. And it's so detailed and fascinating. So like they put on lectures there where you'd pay to go and listen to them speak basically, and they'd play things out of speakers and talk about the history of the place and all that sort of thing. And so I've been there twice for one of those, and I think the first time I went there, they let you look in the chamber out the back, like you go through the double doors and
Smelly.
to the right. Yeah, it's very damp,
musky.
Yeah, damp smelling out there. But no, I didn't see. I don't think. Oh no, maybe I did. Maybe I did see it this time. Oh, maybe it's blurring together now. Yeah, maybe I did, but yeah, I definitely remember the room anyway. I've been in that little chamber anyway. To think all the things that have been played through there, and also you hear stories of the Beatles. That's where they'd sneak off to have a cheeky joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so much like history in that place. Obviously not only the Beatles, but that's my main reason for being so overwhelmed at being in there. But yeah, there's so many, like Pink Floyd did Dark Side of the Moon there. Yeah, list is endless.
I mean, it's just when you walk through, I mean, the first time I walked through, I think I went to a talk as well, and it's completely different to when you do a talk, when you're listening to a talk, than when you're actually going in there doing a session.
Yeah.
When you're doing a talk, it's like it's so overwhelming because they're marching you through straight to the room because they don't want you to sort of dilly-dally around.
Yeah.
And they're just taking you straight there, and then it's literally straight back up. Out, but when you're there, it's like, oh yeah, feel free to go.
Yeah, there
this
was
way. Yeah,
so much
just
more
feel free, Holly. Yeah, just
relaxed than I thought they were going to be. Like especially like you get the little thing beforehand of like no photos in the corridors and no this and no that, and but yeah, exactly like you say, when they're there, they're so laid back, and it's like like at first, like when I went down to the canteen, because Studio 2, the Beatles studio, is pretty much opposite where the canteen is. And I went down to the canteen. I was like, it's through there. It's through there. And I was just like peeking around the corner, seeing if I could just get a glimpse into that room. And then I heard someone sort of moving around in there, probably an engineer setting something up. I just sort of bolted backwards. I was like, no. Like, because, but then you found out as you spend the day there, they're just like, yeah, come in, come and have a look. It's like, yeah, it's very much more relaxed than I thought they'd be, which was nice.
And they're just it is quite weird, because you do feel like, you know, when we first went there to record, I think I was on like eggshells, and I think I was a bit overwhelmed by the, you know, oh God, we're here. And then it was, I don't know how many things we did. We did so many projects on the first time we went, and it was just a bit like that, and then it just went like a flash, and then you sit back and think, oh yeah, we did that, and that's cool.
Yeah. Where was it? It wasn't where we went this time when you went.
No,
first,
we did the gatehouse.
That's the one that's outside.
Yeah. So you can you go from the back? There's two entrances, which is weird. So you can go downstairs all the way through via the canteen. You can go down via a corridor, and then you can go out through there, and then you go outside again, and then you go through the door. And I think it was previously like where they stored amps and like
right, yeah, because it looks like a little almost like a mobile unit type.
Yeah. So that's literally where they used to store everything, and then they turned it into, you know, the gatehouse and stuff. And then the front room they built that one as well.
That's where we were this time.
That's where we were, yeah. And they've got another one which I don't know where it is. It might be upstairs. I think it's called the penthouse.
Must be upstairs.
It must be upstairs, the penthouse. But yeah, I mean, I've not seen that one. I've not been to that one. But that looks like just a tiny bigger version of the front room as well, which was quite fun, because I think did I say that people were looking in and waving and like looking?
Oh, were they?
Yeah, they were taking pictures of us, like, because we were doing things, and I just clocked that someone was like just standing there with a camera, like just filming.
They must be famous.
They must be famous. They must be famous. Yeah, they were just like looking at us, and I was like, "Hello," and they're like.
Was this in the front room, was it? Because that looks out to the front of the building, doesn't it?
Right to the front, yeah.
Yeah, because I heard John Leckie doing an interview as one of the engineers, producers from back in the day. And he was saying the front room used to be part of Studio 3, which I didn't know when I was there. I found that out after, and I was like, oh, that's cool, because obviously Back to the Beatles again, being a big fan, they recorded a lot of stuff in Studio 3 as well, obviously Studio 2 being the main one. But he was talking about where they had the idea to walk across Abbey Road for the album cover would have been in that room, because he remembers hearing of the story of them looking out the window and getting that idea. And the only windows in any of the rooms is there. Yeah. So that's the only one it could have been. So it's also like before... Yeah, because Studio 3's been really modified over the years, and they've changed it round. Like the whole layout of it is basically back to front now, how it used to be. But yeah, it was cool to find that out after. It's like where we were for the whole day. It was like,
and then you just looked out the window, and then it's like, oh, yeah, you looked out that window. Yeah, that's cool.
It was cool to be on the inside looking out for once, rather than on the outside thinking, one day I'll be in there recording.
It was odd, because I went to the gift shop, obviously, because I didn't buy anything this time, actually. But I went to the gift shop, and I walked straight back in, and obviously there was loads of people on the day that we did, because it was Saturday, so all the tourists were there.
It was a weekend, wasn't it?
And we just walked in. I just walked straight back into the gates, and obviously it says on the gate, do not enter if you're not recording. And then I just walked straight up the stairs, and then these people were like that, because I've just walked out the gift shop straight through, and it's like, oh.
I was surprised the gate was open. I thought they'd have to be like, because I know how tight they were with security now. Like when I went like a few years ago, you could just walk in, take your picture on the steps, and then walk out again. Now they're a bit strict on that now.
They've got the security guard on the thing, and then as soon as they see somebody approach, they're straight out. They're going, get out.
Yeah, that's why again I was so surprised at them being so sort of relaxed and chilled out when we were in there, because even on the outside you're sort of greeted by shut gates, and it's like a big imposing building and stuff. But yeah, it was trying not to feel too smug about when I was walking in with my guitar case and stuff, and just like, excuse me, I'm meant to be here, thank you.
Yeah, the security guard was surprisingly nice, wasn't he? He was really nice.
I don't think I saw him.
Did you not?
No.
He was really nice, and he's just like, because I arrived super early. I think I arrived about 9 a.m. Before anyone arrived, and I think the first one was at 10 o'clock, so I arrived at 9 to go downstairs and have breakfast, and there was literally nobody in the building except the catering staff downstairs, like the bar staff and the security guard. And it was really weird because I was having a pastry and a coffee just in the bar, just sitting there eating my breakfast on my own. just sitting there thinking, this is quite surreal experience, just eating my breakfast alone.
Yeah, I would have been there that early as well if it was allowed. Well, I wasn't recording until like 7 p.m. And I think I messaged you like just saying, can I come a bit earlier, like just to hang out there, just to be there. It's like, I promise I'll be quiet, I'll sit in the corner, I won't say anything.
No, you were very good. You didn't say anything. You sat in the corner and you were very respectful.
Yeah, well, Pete wanted some pictures as well, so I tried my best to get some photos for him as he was playing before me. But yeah, I mean, I could spend months in there easily. Yeah. But
you also did Rack as well, because only you and Pete have done both.
Yeah, that was really cool
so
too.
That was odd because there was no one in there except us.
Yeah, there was just sort of one
day.
guy sort of sat at reception chilling, wasn't there, an engineer. Yeah, that was really fun as well. Again, like one of my favourite albums ever is The Bends by Radiohead. And I think a lot of that was recorded at Rack with John Leckie, who I was talking about earlier. And I think Muse, who I'm also a big fan of, recorded one of their first 2 albums there, maybe. And yeah, it's always for me the history of places. I love places like, going somewhere.
I like to know who's been in and like, who's been here. And then I think the guy said, was it the Arctic Monkeys? I think he said he said the day before. He said the day before they were here.
They were there doing strings, weren't they?
That's cool.
Yeah,
weird. And then we were the only ones there. That day, which was just
I love
nuts.
all that though. It's like things like, so John Lennon was standing right here when he sang, whatever it was. But yeah, just like going to locations of where, like if you've ever listened to a piece of music or seen a photograph or anything like so many times, and then to go to that place where it happened is always something special for me. I love stuff like that.
Here's a fact for you: there's 6. I think it's U87s, and there's 6 of them in stock at Abbey Road. So they are all from the same sort of era. Yeah. So chances are that those 6, that one of them that you recorded was like used by
back then.
The Beatles and stuff, which is nuts to think about.
And the fact that it's still going and it still
works, which is nuts.
Yeah, because are they Valve, those mics?
Yeah. So that they do look battered. There is one that's got, I can't remember what it's got, like something engraved in it. It had, and I don't know what it was, and they had scratched it in.
Oh. But it's also seeing like, I thought they would have been like, not obviously trying to sort of make out they don't take care of their things, but it was like a drawer just of U87s or U47s or something, just a drawer of them, like none of them in a case or anything.
No, just they just chuck them.
Yeah, I suppose like with they've got the people in there that they know they can trust with all that sort of stuff anyway, don't they? So like it's not like they've got a dedicated maintenance
team, and they've been there for like years and years. So if anything goes wrong, they just fix it straight away.
It's just one guy, I think. Well, from what I've heard, it's just one guy. But he's got a little cupboard upstairs somewhere where he does all of his little fixing stuff.
Cute.
It's not literally a cupboard, but
shove him in the cupboard.
Little room upstairs.
So when you were at Rack, did you see like? Well, obviously it was like an experience to do it, but did you feel different in Abbey Road to Rack? Less pressure in Rack?
Yes. I think for as I was talking with you earlier about being an anxious person. I think it's one of the rare occasions for me where the excitement of being in Abbey Road actually took over the nervousness, and like I was relishing being excited in that moment to be there, rather than dwelling on like, oh my god, I'm here and I'm about to do a recording. So with Rack, it was a little bit less like that, because only for me, because there's not as much history that's personal to me there. Obviously there is still a ton at Rack Studios, and it's a great studio and great place to record, and that was really fun. But yeah, I think in terms of being overwhelmed by being in a place, it's Abbey Road hands down. It's like I can't think of a place where that would be more than that.
Yeah. I mean, even though the room that we were in was smaller than the one that we were in Rack. I mean, Rack, the control room, like the way it was built, and the way that when you're up on the desk and you're looking down, which is really cool. But still, my preference would be Abbey Road. Just
it's the
because,
history though, isn't it? But you see, like I've seen a lot of like PJ Harvey, who I'm also a big fan of, recorded a lot of her last album at Rack, and it's always cool going back and seeing photos of where you were, and also where other people that you admire have been. It's like, oh, I've been in that corner. I've touched that piano. But yeah, obviously both were great. Both were great places to go and record, and for the experience and everything. But yeah, I did love both. But yeah, I mean, can't touch Abbey Road, can you?
No. I mean, it must. Well, to be fair, to have a recording at Abbey Road and even Rack, that's you can't really top it.
No.
So have you said you've peaked, or? I'm done now.
Yeah.
Done?
Well, no. I mean, like on the day, I was like, this. Like as I was walking away from there, I was thinking, well, this is actually a true sort of what's the phrase? Like bucket list thing.
Yeah.
To say you've recorded in there, but I still think hopefully one day I could do a recording in Studio 2 somehow, some way. It's just so expensive.
It's too expensive.
It's ridiculous.
It's super, super expensive and super stressful to organise.
Yeah. I was just thinking, because I come from quite a musical family, and was like, if we can get like 20 of us all to pay, like,
20.
have a 20-piece band in there.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, even on the day, it was a bit cheeky, really. But I was thinking, I wish I brought like my laptop and a microphone. Like we could have just snuck in here quickly, done a little thing, and then gone out again. But because it was empty, that was another thing on the day. I was like surprised that no one was in there. I know it was a Saturday, but still, I was like, I thought surely like everyone who wishes to record there are going to say they want that room. And to see Studio 3 being occupied but not Studio 2. If I was the Studio,
I would have 3 Studio
people,
2. I would. Yeah.
Surely why don't you go? No one's in there. Can't we just like go in there? Just even for the experience. It's not being used. It's just sat there. With but I mean, it's a good thing that for me no one was in there, because I got to sneak in and just walk around and just look around for a couple of times on the day. Yeah, it was weird going out into the garden. I was just my dad came with me, so I was like talking to my dad, and I was just saying to him, like, Studio 2 is right there. It's like, why are we standing out here? We can literally just walk in there if we want. And it's like, yeah, it's crazy.
And then the flats that were, because obviously going into the garden, there's the flats that are above it. And I kept thinking, good God, how much money do you have to have one of these? And they're probably not that big.
No.
They're not even that big, but to be looking out onto a thing as well.
They probably see so many like famous people gathered out there. So it was probably like no big deal to them now, though, is it? It's like people who can probably live in there are probably so like sort of, I don't know.
It's blasé. It's like, oh, whatever.
I was trying not to say snobby about it.
Snobby.
But it's like, oh.
So when you record, usually, how do you usually do it? What room do you do it in? Stuff like that.
Well, I've got a studio at where I was living at my mum's house. So a lot of my recordings are done there. But the last 2 albums, my brother's done the drums for me because he's been a drummer like all his life pretty much, but he lives in the south of France, so he's done the drums for me in the south of France and sent them over. But yeah, I'd love to be able to say like my normal way of recording is always, you know, straight to tape, all done live. But it's not. I'm not cool enough or rich enough to be able to do that. But yeah. So normally the process for me is I'll play an acoustic guitar to a click because I know I have to put drums on later, and a guide vocal, and then I will just go back to the ground up, really, put drums on it next, then probably more guitars. I do bass with the guide acoustic, knowing that I'll probably redo it later, so then I'll do all the guitars and then probably go back to bass and work out more things. This is if I'm doing it all myself, which is pretty much what this album that I've just finished is how I've done it. Apart from my brother being on drums, and there's another guy called Emmerich who I sent them to, and he's put some keys on for me. Who's in the band with my brother and my cousin. He's very, very good. And just build it up that way, really. Your typical guitars, bass, and then keyboards, any other percussion, tambourine, shakers, which I like, or hand claps. You know, whatever, and then your sort of miscellaneous instruments that might go on, and then redo the vocal, and then harmonies are usually last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you did you go to music college, university things?
No, I nearly did. I nearly went to ACM, but I was already in my first year at college by that point, and I was doing music tech at college. I'd done my first year at music tech, and where I'd have had to start, I went for a meeting at ACM with a guy, and he was asking me like, what instruments do you play, like all that sort of thing, and he asked me what I was doing. I said, well, I'm in music technology at college now, I've just done my first year. And he said, oh, what did you have to do for that? And I told him, and he's like, well, I think your first year here will be repeating that. Yeah. And in my head I was like, well, it might not be such a bad thing to do it again. In some ways, I might be better off because I've already done it. Like I could cheat and use what I've already used. Yeah. for doing that, and then for some reason I came to the because I was very lazy. I just thought, I don't want to do it all again. Like sod it. Like I'll just stay at college and then think about it later. And to this day, sometimes I think I really wish I'd just done that, because they focused really on like getting you jobs when you come out as well and stuff. Like you went somewhere, didn't you?
I went to ACM.
Yeah, don't they like?
Guildford.
Aren't they like really good at trying to get you in?
They're very good at. I mean, some people moan. Every single person that goes to ACM after they finish or during moan about, it's ACM, oh God, they don't help you, or all of that, and they're going, it's rubbish. The desk never works. All of this rubbish that they spout out, and I never had any complaint. Yeah. About anything. Maybe I had like, oh God, this lecturer's like. Just says the same things over and over again, like stuff like that. But I never had a complaint about the place. I think the place, it's a really good experience to do. And I mean, I know for a fact that because I'm an overachiever, and I really did focus and hone in on everything that I did. So I was just like immersed in this whole thing of, I'm going to do this project and I'm going to make it my business basically. So they were really impressed and everything. So they're very good at, and I've had multiple clients from there and they've been sent to me because of them. So they're good at spotting people who've definitely got the right attitude. Exactly. And then they I think they use some of my work in, they'd say, this is how someone did it. They don't give you a name, but then they
it's like
say
a benchmark
exactly,
almost.
but they gave the company name, like the business name, and then they said, this person has this business called this, and then I've had emails saying, I heard this.
Oh, awesome! That's good.
Stuff like that, and I've gone back to do like a talk and stuff, and a fair thing that they did, and then people came to talk to you, and you did like a lecture and stuff, which I've done that, and they paid me for, which was really cool.
Oh, nice. Cool.
But no, they're very good, and it's probably one of the best things that I ever did.
Yeah.
Because
Don't tell me that.
no,
I'm already regretting not doing it.
No, it's like, yeah, I mean, it is the best thing, because I think I was in a state of, oh God, I don't know if I want to do what I'm doing with my life. And it was, I think, what was I don't know how old I was. I think I must have been about 26.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've not really achieved much in my life, because I was just...
Oh, so it wasn't straight from college that you went there?
No, I did it late.
College. Oh,
I did it late because I was never good at school, like nothing like that. I was never good at it, and I didn't leave school with many GCSEs because I was just like unfocused, and I was troublemaker and whatever, and
naughty.
Yeah, very naughty. And they just, I just didn't get on with it, and I went straight into work, and then I did work and retail for years, and then something was missing, and I just thought, it's just really, I don't feel good and right. And then somebody who worked where I currently still work, but said, I went to this thing called ACM, and I remember him saying it, and I did some research into it, and I messaged him and I said, do you think it's worth going? And he said, if you continue to do it after you've graduated, then it's 100%. He said, I did it, and then I didn't continue with it. And he's like, it's a regret of mine. So I think that stuck with me, and I thought, okay. And then I didn't think I was going to get in, and then I got in, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, wow. Oh, cool.
So,
I did
it late.
I think at the time for me, when I was like 17 or whatever, I was sort of thinking a little bit about the future. Like eventually, like my dream job would probably be like an engineer or a producer in a studio. But when I was 17 and in a band and stuff, I was too focused on, too sort of preoccupied with that. Just being in a band and stuff. It's like, I can learn all that later, or do all that later. But then later comes and you think, oh, damn it. Like, I've left it too late now. Because it's also with that sort of line of work, it's very, very difficult, unless you're like up there, to sort of earn a decent living from it is very hard. It's like talking to the guy at Abbey Road, even, like he says the hours he was working.
Yeah, he was there. It was nuts. He was there I was there at 9, and he came riding in on his bike. Yeah. And he was there from 9:15 basically, and then he wouldn't leave till about
like 1 a.m. or something.
That's nuts to me.
Especially like now with having a child and stuff.
Yeah,
I can't even
do that.
No,
you can do that.
Can't do it. But it's like, what was his name? He was really cool. That
Ed.
Guy. Ed, that was it.
Ed was his name. Yeah.
Really nice guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do regret it now, since like thinking like, because by the age I am now, I could have sort of gone up the ladder in something I enjoy, but I was also scared at that time of, if what I enjoy becomes my job, I don't want to then hate it. It's like, I love loving doing music, and I love, just anything around music, even the sort of mixing side of it, the editing side of it, all that. As long as I can write and release and record music, like, I wasn't that fussed. But now, like, thinking of, I do have a slight regret of, maybe I should have made it my work, because I've not got bored of it, and I was scared of getting bored of it and finding it tedious and all that. And it's one of the only things, like, music is, I think I can safely say, I won't ever get bored of it. I won't ever stop doing it. It's just, it's who you are, isn't it? If you're a musician or a songwriter. But
never say never.
No.
You could still, maybe. But I mean, it's tricky, because I mean, I messaged you, and I think you were shocked when I said I do this and something else. But yeah, I do a lot and it's my whole life is probably consumed by these two things that I do,
Yeah.
and I don't really do anything else. So when I go out in the evening, it's like, oh my God, I've gone out somewhere that's, but even that's to do with music. So I went out last night and it was something to do with music. So, but yeah, it's my life is probably consumed by a not a very nice health and safety job and music. So I do that, and then I come straight back and then I just do this. It's quite overwhelming, but if I was doing this full time, I was doing B-side full time for about 6 to 7 months, and I think I was on the verge of a mental breakdown, because I was so busy and I could not control people messaging me and emailing me at all hours of the day.
Need an assistant.
That was but I was like, no, I can't do it. And then I had to put a stop to like doing all of it at once, and I had to strip some things back, and then I had to let bits go, because I think I was on a burnout, I think. I can't do multiple things at multiple times now.
Well, that's partly like what I was saying of like, if it does become your job, like I was scared of then resenting that. And like, I don't want to not love what I love anymore. It was basically is what I was scared of happening. But yeah, it sounds like a similar, probably a fine line of sort of, like you say, probably did the right thing if you were starting to get like that, like stripping things back and even letting cool things go. Yeah, got to put that mental health first.
So your songs, how many songs are you going to do for us? How much time have we got? I don't know.
3?
Yeah, let's do 3. So what are you going to do for us?
First, I was going to do songs that I did at the Abbey Road thing. I was going to do 3 of those. Probably be Homesick, Heroes Growing Old, and I'll probably do Cure, because that's my little boy's favourite song of mine.
Oh,
Cassian's favourite song.
That's nice.
So I'll probably do that one for him. And those 3.
Cool. Well, thank you for chatting. I literally have noticed that we've just talked about memorabilia of Abbey Road and stuff. So
I could talk about the Beatles and Abbey Road all day.
So thank you very much for having a chat and a coffee.
Pleasure.
Yeah. So after this, I will play Jenson's 3 songs.